We have very specific election laws in the state to try to prevent fraud. We had to go to court to force the supervisor elections in Palm Beach County and Broward County to comply with the law, which is the law is there to prevent fraud. I've asked the Florida Department of Law Enforcement to go in and do an investigation to find out what happened here. But we clearly know the judges have already said they clearly violated the law.
Brad Todd is a senior advisor to Florida Governor and GOP Senate candidate Rick Scott. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So can you just give us an idea of where things stand at this moment?
Sure. Right now we're engaging in a machine recount in all 67 counties of Florida. 2 counties have completed it. The legal strategy for Governor Scott's campaign is very simple. We are insisting that Florida election law be followed. Bill Nelson's legal strategy is very different. His strategy is to ignore the law in Broward and Palm Beach County and overturn the law statewide. So I think that tells you who's going to come out on top in this count.
Strategy is to insist that the law be followed. What evidence do you have that it was not?
Well, easily. Last Tuesday night, the Florida law requires that every supervisor of elections announce the number of mail-in and paper absentee ballots that they have received. In Palm Beach and Broward County, that did not happen. The number continued to change after Tuesday night. Also, you have to update your website every 45 minutes with the total numbers. That has not happened in Palm Beach County. That website's been static since last Wednesday. Also saw this Saturday when final numbers had to be due to the state. They kept counting in Broward. We've gone to court to try to stop that count because you can't count after the rest of the state has turned their ballots in. The goal here is to get the law followed in Florida, insist that these 2 counties, which have defied court orders, the open records laws in Florida, a judge in Broward County has already ruled that Brenda Snipes violated the open records laws. These laws are all put in place to protect the integrity of the vote and to prevent fraud.
By the way, there's a live picture up there as this recount is underway at this moment. Democrats have come out in full force calling this an act of desperation on the part of your candidate, Scott. How do you respond to that?
Well, first off, this lead is insurmountable. That's not my word. That's Bill Nelson's lawyer's word when he's been involved in recounts with margins even smaller than this. So what's going to happen on Thursday is this machine recount's going to be complete. Bill Nelson's going to still be far behind, and he's going to face a choice. You know, his lawyers get paid a lot. They bill by the hour. They'd like to do this all winter. But Bill Nelson has a legacy to think about. He's been in politics since I was 2 years old, and he has to decide on Thursday when he's going to trail significantly. Does he want his entire legacy to be painted as the guy who wouldn't go away when he was voted out by the people of Florida?
Well, you mentioned Nelson's attorney, Mark Elias, and this is the latest tweet coming from him and that team. Breaking, no Floridian should have their rightful vote denied because of mail post office delays. We are suing to protect these ballots. Hashtag count all the votes. A new suit coming?
Look, he'll sue as long as someone will pay him to do it. You know, the law in Florida is very clear, and we have these laws in place to protect the integrity of the elections. If Mark Elias or Bill Nelson didn't like these election laws, these election fraud laws, they should have sued months ago. They're only suing because they're behind, they've lost, the people of Florida made their decision. The time to change these laws, if they don't like them, was a long time ago, but everyone agreed this was the way to prevent fraud in Florida.
As far as the national attention that this is receiving this morning, how is your team and working with Rick Scott on this, how are you guys responding to that this morning? Because the country is watching this closely.
Well, the country always watches Florida's elections closely. It's our nation's most preeminent swing state. You know, Governor Scott is now undefeated. He's won 4 very close elections, and the reason he's won them is because he does a great job for the people of Florida. You know, he is the calmest guy in the room at all times. He knows that the people of Florida have chosen him to be their U.S. Senator, and his mind's focused on what he's going to do in Washington.
All right, Brad, I only have a few seconds left. How does this go? We keep looking at the live picture of the recount underway at this moment. Final thoughts.
Well, this is going to end on Thursday with a machine recount that shows Rick Scott well ahead. You know, then Bill Nelson has a choice to make. What does he want his legacy to be?
All right, Brad Todd, thank you for coming on this morning.
Thanks a lot for having me.